Pastor, we can't make the sacrifice. But it means then that if I got time for this game, I got time for that, I got time for law and order, I got time for the days of our lives. I got time for the young and the restless. I got time for general hospital. I got time for all these other foolishness, but I don't have time to engage in the service of God. And so now every other thing is getting more out of my life than God. And so now I am engaging in a keen kind of worship. I am simply giving God what is left over or what I don't want. But I believe the time has come where we ought to give God our best as it relates to serving God and giving ourselves fully and completely to Him. The best of my praise, the best of my worship, the best of my service, the best of my time, the best of my energy, sum it up, the best of my life. David, in his walk with God, came to a particular point in his life where he wanted to offer a sacrifice unto God. I alluded to this in the first Sunday of this year. And David wanted to offer a sacrifice unto God. David went down to King Araunah. He wanted the king's threshing floor. And he says, I will buy this threshing floor from you because I want to offer a sacrifice on this nice area. The king Araunah says to David, David, you are a king. You are a good man. Here's what I'll do for you. He says, I will give you this land. I will give you this place. He says, I'll give you even probably the rocks to make the altar. I'll give you the ox to sacrifice. He says, you can just have it. David says, no, I don't want you to give it to me. He says, I want to pay you for it. He says, because I don't want to give God anything that costs me nothing. And so now to give God my best, it means then that I must be willing to cut the cost and to make the sacrifice, to say I'm sacrificing to give God the best out of my life. There is a lady in the New Testament. The Bible does not give her name, but it says that this lady came to Jesus on a particular occasion, and she came with a bottle of perfume. It says she came with an alabaster box, and as she came to offer her worship. She came to offer her sacrifice unto God. And when she came in, she broke the bottle and she went to Jesus and she began to anoint him. And when she anointed him, the fragrance of the perfume filled the entire room. And the moment the fragrance filled the room, everybody in the room got agitated. In particular was Judas. And they said to Jesus, why this waste? This perfume could have been sold for so much money so that we can feed the poor. What it means? It means that those who are in the room recognize that this was not the perfume you get at the dollar store. They recognize that this was not the perfume you get at the 50-cent store. They recognize that she went all the way down to Goldsmith. They recognize she went all the way down to Royal Jewelry. And she got some polo, she got some poison, she got some expensive stuff because she was understood that she was going to offer an offering, a sacrifice, engage in worshiping a God. And so she says, if I am going to give to God, I got to give to him the best that I have. And so she went and got this expensive perfume because she understood that it was not the president she was going to anoint. It was not the prime minister. It was not the governor. It was not your MP. It was Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And so she said, listen, if I am going to give to him, I got to give him the best that I have. I've come to say to somebody that when we give our lives to him, the Bible says that we ought to present it as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto him. And so in the Old Testament, they gave sheep, and they offered sheep and various other animals unto God. But God said now, he says, when you offer your sheep, it shouldn't have any blemish, it shouldn't be weak, it should be something that greatly represents me. And so now when I give myself now to him as a living sacrifice, I gotta show that I give him the best of me, the best of my life, the best of all I am, the best of my gifts, the best of my talents, the best of my resources, the best of my time, the best of everything that concerns me, so that in the final analysis of my life, it can truly be said of me that I was sold out to God and I give him the best out of my life. There are so many folks, so many young people who are saying, I am going to serve the Lord when I get a little older. What they mean is this: when I don't live my life, when I don't do all that I want to do, and when I'm getting old and got a walking stick and ain't got no more strength in me to do anything, then I can serve the Lord. But I believe the text encourages us to give the Lord the best of our lives. And the truth, baby, is that while you're young, it's the best of your life. And so in order to give him your best, it means to give him yourself now. That's why the Bible says to seek him while you're young. And so Abel says, I'm coming to bring an offering, I'm coming to give a gift, but I gotta give God the best that I have. Is there anybody in here who understands that God deserves your best? For the Bible says in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his best. For God so loved the world, he didn't give Michael, he didn't give Gabriel, he didn't give the seraphims nor the cherubims, he gave his only begotten son. He gave his best. And so for a God who was willing to give his best for me, shouldn't I be willing to give him the best of my life, every moment of my life? Which means that I give him everything that I am and everything that I have. I bring him the best. I give him the best because he is God, and besides him there is no other. And the reality of it is, I said in the beginning, that Abel brought his gift because he recognized that when he had 2 sheep, God caused it to increase to 4, into 6, into 10. And you do the multiplication and the addition. But he increased because of God. And so you ought to give God your best, because when you look over your life, there are so many of you in here who could have been in an accident and been in the grave. But God spared your life. And so he spared my life so that I can give him the best of my life. The doctor said to you, he don't know whether you're going to make it, but God. And so I'm giving him the best of my life. Last year you were humble and hard pressed because of financial constraint, and you thought you were going to lose your mind. You didn't know where you're going to pay this bill, how you're going to provide for your family, how you're going to keep food on your table. But God kept you. And so I'm challenging you this year to give him the best of your life. Give him the best of your mind, because he kept you in your right mind. So Abel says, I can't just give God anything. I'm not just going to be a Sunday worshiper and give God an hour and a half, 2 hours of my time. No, I'm going to be a Sunday worshiper. I am going to be a Monday worshiper. I am going to be a Tuesday worshiper. I am going to be a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. I'm going to give him my entire self, because I understand that he deserves my best. There is a thing that we say, and I have been challenging it for a long time. We say this, we say that it is not the gift, it is the thought that counts. Now, that is true to an extent. If you got small resources,